Okay, so here are the solutions and answers for Lesson 5 Problem Solving Practice, Converting Measurement Units, that you have just worked on with your partners. We start with number 1. The average weight of a baby at birth is 7 pounds. How many ounces is the average weight of a baby? So, we start out with the information that the average baby weighs 7 pounds. And we're going to put that over 1. We know we're going to multiply by some ratio to give us the number of ounces that would be in 7 pounds. So we need to consider the two ratios that show the relationship between pounds and ounces, which would be 16 ounces for every 1 pound, or 1 pound for every 16 ounces. We look back at our original problem and we see that we start with pounds. So we need to get rid of pounds and end up with ounces. If we use this ratio right here, that would allow pounds to cancel out and leave us with ounces in the numerator for our final answer. So we're going to multiply by the ratio 16 ounces per pound. Pound divided by pound cancels out, and that leaves us with 16 times 7, which would be 152 ounces. Okay. Number 2, the height of Niagara Falls is 182 feet. How many yards high is Niagara Falls? So we're given feet and we're changing to yards. So we have 182 feet. We can put that over 1. We're going to multiply by some ratio, and that will give us the height in yards. Considering the two ratios that show the relationship between feet and yards, we can see that it's 3 feet per yard, or 1 yard for every 3 feet. Look at our original problem. We have feet. We need to get rid of the feet and end up with yards. So we need to use this ratio here because the feet will cancel out and leave yards in the numerator for our final answer. So we're going to multiply by 1/3, 1 yard for every 3 feet. Feet divided by feet, that cancels out. That leaves us with 182 times 1 and 1 times 3. So now we need to take that 182 over 3 and simplify this. However, 3 goes into 18, which means 3 goes into 180, which means 3 will not go into 182. So we are already simplified here. We just need to turn this improper fraction into a mixed number. So we can do 182 divided by 3 here to find out what that whole number is going to be. So do this long division here. This is 0, and that gives us a remainder of 2, and 60 is the whole number. So that would be 60 2/3 yards. Okay, on to number 3. We have the gasoline tank of a minivan holds 18 gallons. How many quarts can the tank hold? So that means we need to, what's that number again? 18 gallons. So we start with 18 gallons per quart. No, that's not right. 18 gallons over 1. We're going to multiply by some ratio and end up with the number of quarts. So now we need to consider the relationship between gallons and quarts, which of course I can never memorize these things, so I've got to go back and check my solution here, and I see that 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. So that's 1 gallon for every 4 quarts, or 4 quarts for every 1 gallon. Look at our problem. We need to cancel out gallons, so we need to have gallons in the denominator. So this is the winning ratio here. times 4 quarts over 1 gallon. Gallons divided by gallons, that cancels out, leaving us with 18 times 4. So 8 times 4 here is 32. And then 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 gives us 72 quarts. On to the next problem here. If I can get this paper moved. Cell phones. Cell phones can weigh as little as 2 ounces. How many pounds can a cell phone weigh? So going from ounces to pounds, we start with 2 ounces. Put that over 1. We're going to multiply by a ratio and end up with the number of pounds. We need to think about the relationship between ounces and pounds, and we know that there are 16 ounces per pound, or there's 1 pound for every 16 ounces. We have ounces in the numerator here. We need to get rid of that and replace it with pounds. So this ratio here will allow us to do that, because ounces will cancel out, leaving us with pounds in the numerator. So that means we're going to multiply by 1 pound for every 16 ounces here. Ounces divided by ounces cancels out, and that leaves us with 2 times 1 and 1 times 16. So 2/16 pounds, which of course can be simplified. So 2/16 we can divide by 2 over 2, and that will give us 1/8 of a pound. All right, next problem is recipe. A recipe for ice cream calls for 56 fluid ounces of milk. How many cups of milk are in the recipe? So 56 fluid ounces. We'll put that over 1. We're going to multiply by some ratio and find out how many cups that is. We need to consider the relationship between fluid ounces and cups, which would be 8 ounces per 1 cup, or 1 cup for every 8 ounces. We need to have ounces in the denominator, so we can cancel out these units and leave us with cups in the numerator. So this is the ratio of choice for this problem. That would be times 1 cup over 8 fluid ounces. Fluid ounces divided by fluid ounces cancels out. That gives us 56 times 1, and then 1 times 8. So 56/8 cups, which obviously needs to be simplified. So we're going to divide by 8 over 8, and that would give us 7 cups if we start with 56 fluid ounces.